Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Christian Alpha Podcast. My name is Troy. I am an attorney, business owner, entrepreneur, a father, and most importantly, a Christian. Thank you for joining us for another episode today. I want to talk about the work ethic, which is I'm going to label it as a new idea and a new approach to the work ethic, but it's actually a very old approach. As I'll discuss, work ethic is something that's been lost in our society. People today, in general, and I don't want to generalize, but speaking kind of generically, people are lazy. They're entitled. They have a want it now attitude. Part of that is a result of the changes in our society. Part of that is a result of the technology that makes so many things available to us at our fingertips. So we've lost the need to work as hard for some things. Even those who are on the other side of the spectrum, though, even those who tend to be conscientious, pretty diligent people, there's still a big part of our culture that tries to soften the edges of the work ethic. And, that can come in the guise of concepts like preserving mental health or spending more time with your family or just taking it easy and not becoming married to your work. There are all these cliches and all these concepts that have become common parlance in the modern day as different ways to kind of soften the edge of the work ethic and get people to work less, basically. Working very, very hard, working very intensely, having strong career goals and pushing through all obstacles to obtain those is really frowned upon in our society. And so I would encourage you to take the opposite approach. I think men of today, Christian men of today, must take not just a different approach, but a radical approach to work. I'm not saying just go in for an extra hour on the weekend. I'm saying that we have to do a complete 180 in our approach to work from what the world and the secular society and our society at large is promoting. That means embracing a hardcore, obsessive work ethic. And I'm not talking about anything unhealthy. I'm not talking about making an idol out of your career. I'm not talking about neglecting your family. But I am talking about not being ashamed of working extremely hard, being very career focused, being very career on building your business, and putting in 12 to 14 hour work days without blinking, working on Saturdays without even thinking twice, having a very intense, focused work ethic, day in and day out to achieve your goals. I encourage you to do it. I encourage you to embrace that mindset and to not be ashamed of it and to not back down from it. Just a brief history. Like I said, this comes across as a new branding of the work ethic, but it's actually a very old approach to work. The rest of the world throughout most of world history operated at a very slow, unprepared, inefficient pace. It was do what you needed to do to get by, do what you needed to do to appease your local lord or your local ruler or whoever had power over you, and rest the rest of the day, or enjoy a festival or, enjoy whatever small moments you could grasp from a very oppressed and burdensome life. With the rise of the West, though, the rise of Protestantism, and in particular, the rise of the American industrial state, the British industrial state, that was based on something else. That was based on work as a mission, work as a calling, with planning, with goals, with tracking, with achievement and failure. In other words, the modern work ethic, as we understand it today, developed in the wake of the Protestant Reformation and the rise of the West. And of course, this may sound familiar to many of those of you who know about the Protestant work ethic and the book by Max Weber, which was published early 20th century. A profound work, a seminal work in in the study of sociology, in the field of sociology and economics. But if you haven't had a chance to read that, read it or read a summary of it to get an understanding, because it really is a profound concept that underlies what gave rise in many ways to the dominant economic position of the West and America in particular. But in any case, America traditionally, as a result of some of the things that are pointed out in that book, America traditionally has been an extremely hardworking nation. And it's only in recent decades that that's become a bad thing. Throughout the vast majority of our history, work was not only a strong work ethic, but it was not only encouraged, but it was demanded and it was lauded. And it was understood that that's what gave rise to self-made men. That's what gave rise to the greatness of our nation economically. That's what gave rise to our universities and our strong cities and our phenomenal military. It all stemmed from a work ethic that we all used to celebrate jointly. Obviously, that's not the case anymore. But I would encourage you to make a return to that old school work ethic. Why? What are the benefits? Well, first of all, we're commanded to work in the Bible. Paul says if you don't work, you don't eat. Paul says, everything that you put your hand to do it with all your might. With all your might. Don't just get the job done. Do it with all your might, and do it as unto the Lord, not pleasing men, not trying to put on a show. Do it as if God was your boss, because he is. In a real sense, he is. But from a non-theological standpoint and a very practical standpoint, there's blessing in work, right? Work will allow you to build wealth. Work will allow you to get whatever you want to get and to accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. You can get it done with enough work and self-sacrifice. And that's powerful. That's if you truly understand and grasp and accept that, that is powerful. You have the resources within your own grasp to attain and achieve anything that you want to. You can also provide for your family, and not just food on the table, not just paying the mortgage, but building a legacy for your children, whether that's in wealth, accomplishments, network, whatever. You can build a long-term legacy for your children. You're also of tremendous service to mankind when you work hard. And that's something that gets left out of the, me generation and the me focused approach to work, which is get off as soon as you can, spend as much time in leisure as you can. Listen, if you're at the ballpark, you're not serving humanity. There's no two ways about it. If you're at the office at 9:00 at night, you're not only serving your family, you're serving humanity in some way. You're being a blessing to mankind if you're doing your job right. So the downsides, health. Again, I'm not here to preach unhealthy practices and to encourage you to work yourself to an early grave, but a lot of it's overblown. And a lot of the stress that people experience today honestly comes from not working too hard, but working too little. They encounter financial stress and family stress and marital stress because they don't have the resources that could come about as a result of them working more time with the family. Here's a mystery to some people that I'll reveal to you, which is you've got all the time that you want. A lot of time when people say you need more time with your family, I don't have enough time to do this, I need more time for leisure, I'm missing time with the kids, it's because they don't want to work hard and efficiently plan their day and efficiently execute their day. Truth is, we blow off hundreds, thousands of hours every year. And that time could easily be made up. You can work a very full week, a very hard week, and still have plenty of time for your children. Full disclosure, I work a 12-hour day today. I just put my kids to bed, and I'm here recording this podcast in the evening because I have a goal. One of them is to build an exemplary podcast, and that's what I'm doing. I've had time with my kids. I'm going to have time with my kids this weekend. I put in a full day at work. There's time. I made time. There's time. And you have it as well. And in terms of leisure, listen, I think there is a time and place for leisure. The Bible says that we should, in many verses, that we should take time to rest God commanded a full day a week. I don't work Sundays. God commanded a full day of leisure. So God's not against that. The Bible's not against that, but in its place and at its time, right? There are plenty of holidays. There are weekends. There are Sundays. There are summers. There are times to take time off from work, and I would encourage you to do that. But that's not the average day. The average day should be a full, intense grind where you're getting things done and you're moving inches closer to your goal and to the targets that you've set for you and your family. So just a word to encourage you to get in there and get it done. It's not easy. It's a completely different mindset from what society is trying to shove down your throat, but it's the right one. Society is wrong on this one. So with that, if you got any value out of this episode or out of this podcast, be thrilled if you would subscribe or consider supporting the show. And until the next time, say good night and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.